This time on the UK Brewery Project, it's Brightside. It was 2009 and Neil and Maxine Friedrich had been running their bakery in Walshaw for nearly 30 years. Unfortunately, the recession hit and they decided they fancied a change from waking up at 4 AM every morning. So in the back of the bakery, they started to do some home brewing. Their daughter Carly joined, who had previously worked in the wine trade, and together they worked through lots of names before they arrived at the name Brightside. They state it was partially named due to the recession and their optimism, but also the fact that they were big fans of the band The Killers. In 2010, they designed and built the first commercial brewery, which was a 2.5 barrel brewery, which is around 630 pints. The brewery had to be carefully designed to fit in the small space they had available in their bakery. This brewery was up and running in the bakery by mid-2010, and then they spent the next 12 months actually testing the brews where they would drink or destroy what they had made. In July 2011, they actually began selling the beer to local pubs. The first commercial beer was Solstice Golden Ale. The bakery was still making a steady income at this stage, and also their son Lance had now joined the business as the brewery director. Another one of their early beers was Maverick, which is an American style IPA, which won first prize at the local Camera Festival. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go open up that beer. Open with the bottle opener and grab a glass. Right, I'll pour this in. There we go. All right, not the cleanest glasses, so I'll try and hold it that way so you don't see all the bubbles on this side rising up. All right, so as I said, it's an American IPA. I'm just going to have a quick look. As I say on the back, one of our longest serving beers, 100% American hops. All right, there we go. So it's golden, it's carbonated, smells hoppy. Let's get tucking in and taste it. That is nice, but there's quite a lot of bitterness in there that I wasn't perhaps expecting. But it's good, it's hot bitterness that it balances out the beer. So it's definitely fruit nose and then a bit of a hoppy, fruity taste. Then it's the bitterness from the hops that comes through that you're tasting at that stage. Yeah, just double checking. Didn't say bottle conditioned or anything on there. Don't think it does. No. So going back to the brewery. So by 2012, they were brewing 3 times a week while still running the bakery. And by October of that year, they were selling all that they brewed. They launched Odin in 2012, which has gone on to be their biggest or best-selling beer to date. In 2013, they then decided to move. So they moved from their bakery to their own brewery in Radcliffe, which is north of Manchester, where they remain to date. At the same time, they left the bakery game and focused entirely on brewing. That's it, their business of baking they've left behind. They increased brewing to 7 days a week, and they also brought they bought a bottling line to start bottling their own brews. In 2014, they installed a new 18-barrel plant, which increased their output from their 10 casks, 720 pints a day, to 70 casks, which is 5,000 pints a day. The first brew on this new plant was Happy Days, which I don't have here. Alongside the new fermenters, they bought more casks and a van to help support their process of delivering to local businesses. The increase in brewing equipment meant that they could drop their brewing days down to between 3 to 5 days a week, which in my opinion avoids the whole burnout of working 7 days a week and allows for maintenance and repairs on the system. Over the next few years, the business carried on expanding. They moved into kegging, brought lager fermenters, a second cask washer, and more equipment alongside that. They also brought in an assistant brewer to help out as well. In 2017, they launched their Wildside beer brand, which you can see on the end here that I've got. This gave the team the ability to experiment with different ingredients and brewing methods alongside moving into canning, which was their first foray before it was all bottled or cask or keg. And well, Wildside, as you can see, they're different beers at this stage. There's quite a few dessert beers, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to open up some of these just off the cuff deciding. So I think I'm going to go for, this one's got my interest, the Mango Session, and it's either Mississippi or Banoffee. I'm going to go Banoffee. So right, let's crack these open. So I have this can, not a big crack at all on opening. Let's pour this out. Right, I don't want to smell the nose just yet. I want to keep that as a little surprise for me. So I'm trying to just hold off smelling anything at that stage. And I said I'll go for the mango as well at this stage. All right, a bit of smoke on opening that one. Let's pour the mango out. Here we go. So this is the mango. And this one is the, what I say, Banoffee. So I'm going to go smelling the Banoffee straight away. Oh dear. Oh wow, that reminds me. It's like a Banoffee cheesecake. Oh, there's fakeness to it, like fake banana-ish, but also amazing smell. Wow. I am gonna tuck into this. It sounds amazing. That is that fake banana taste. Don't get me wrong, I love that taste, and I think it's actually based off, the fake banana taste is actually based off a banana variety that is no longer available because we've, harvested and cultivated certain varieties. But that, oh wow. You get those banana and shrimp sweets, taste exactly like those foam bananas. Oh, that is beautiful. And don't judge me on that. And now this is the mango one. Not as chemical, I would say, as that one. All right, not much coming through on the nose and not too much carbonation either. Let's have a taste of it. Okay, it is mango. And the mango flavour's there, but it's not quite to the mango level I would expect. When you have like a nice, fresh, ripe Alfonso mango, that's what I'm expecting. Whereas the banana is the chemical foam bananas, which is, I perfectly love. It is a good mango beer. And this is, some people turn around and say they hate that because it's the fake banana, but I love that. This one, it's nice, but it's not quite to the level I was expecting. But it's mango. Perhaps I should have opened that one first. Oh, damn it, went with my favourite first at that stage, Banoffee. I am interested now in the mud pie, but I don't want to open too many because I've got to then drink them all in one go. All right, so we've discussed the launching of the Wildside. In 2018, there were further investments in the business. So there was an extension to the conditioning room at their brewery to allow them to condition some more beers. Brightside Brewery, like many other breweries, attempt to be as green as possible. So their spent grains are given to local dairy farmers. The spent hops and yeast are composted at the farms as well. The cardboard boxes, which the hops are actually delivered in, are also reused, and they're reused by a local company who send out their finished work to customers. And I think they're an architectural company or design company of some sort. So Brightside Brewery, currently now running a 20-barrel brewery, which is capable of producing 23,000 pints a week. Yes, I think that's correct. It could be year, no week. Generally, they produce 80 casks, so about 5,500 pints for each beer, meaning they do 4 different beers at the same time. And when you're brewing 4 to 5 days a week, that's where you end up at that number that I was mentioning about. So in 2020, due to COVID and pub trade completely drying up overnight, which was 95% of their business, they had to revert from their local focus of casks. So they launched their online web store, which is where all of this is from, and they also began delivering nationwide, which opened up a sales route for them they hadn't done before. They also opened up a counter at the brewery for local collection, and that sort of opened up the brewery more than what they perhaps were doing before, where it was all local. So as a result of this, they've actually expanded. They've taken on more staff to deal with the additional workload, and they actually seem to be going quite steady, which is good to hear, particularly in these times. So it's a short one at the moment, although me drinking and talking takes up a lot of time, so I never judge how long and short anything is at this stage. But what I'm going to do is, we're up to date, I'm going to run through their beer range. So the kegs, cans and bottles that they produce are normally gluten-free unless they otherwise state at the bottom, but obviously the cask beers are not, because of the finings they use. Now that I'm actually talking of their cask beers, their pump clips are actually quite unique, because what they have is a pint glass type shaped pump clip with the beer on it. I think that's quite unique and different from the squares and oval and round shapes that you would find generally. Going through their beer range, it can be split into 2 categories: traditional and craft. So traditional, we have obviously Odin, which I don't have here, which is a 3.8% blonde ale. Topaz, which I hope is this one. Yeah, Topaz, which is a 5% IPA. Maverick, which is this one that I've had, which is the 4.8% American IPA, which I said has that toasted bitterness notes at the end. They also have Manchester Skyline Gold, which is a 4.6% golden ale, and they have Mancunian Blonde, which is a 4.5% blonde ale. They do a Heller's Lager, which is exactly what it says on the tin. I think it's 4.8, and they also do a Keller Lager coming in around 4%, and Northern Lights, which is their porter at 4.8, and Chuck, which is their brown ale at 4%. On the craft beer range, and which I have quite a few of, I think, here, so just double check. So I've got the Crank IPL, Indian Pale Lager, 4.8%, Alpha IPA, which is a 5.2% American IPA, and then you've got some of the other ones, like this is a barrel aged one, and we have the West Coast Pale and the New England IPA 620, and then obviously we have, after that, the Wildside range. So the Wildside range are the different flavoured ones that we've got here: Mississippi Mudpipe, Banoffee, Mango, and at the end here we've got Lemon and Lime Fizz, which is golden ale. Now, I'm just going to say up front about, like, they've got a West Coast one and East Coast and other things as well. I've had these 3 recently, in fact. So when I got this, these were duplicates, and I thought, well, not had this brew before, I'll try them. I thought these were good, but not amazing. They were like, sounds bad saying the word average, but run-of-the-mill sort of beers. They met the category standard. They were nice to drink, but would I buy them again? I don't know about that. The Maverick of this here, I think in cask, I definitely would try that, because again, I'm not having this in the best of glasses, because this glass obviously is a nucleated glass that's giving off carbonation. But I think this beer with a secondary fermentation in the cask would be really smooth and nice. I haven't tried these, and I will try them. When it comes to the wild side, these are the ones that are interesting. That mango, it's there, it's like quite fresh and it cuts through. It's not like, it's like when you have a lime beer and a lime cuts through on that beer. It's mango beer where the mango cuts through, but the mango isn't as harsh as a lime, which it makes it very nice and easy to drink. But for me, the standout beer is this one. I've got to sniff in as I drink that, because that is amazing. Just taking in, you know, the nose is all about it as well as the actual flavour. Oh, wow. I think I'm in love with that Banoffee one. That is bad. Oh dear. So this is where I normally would talk about awards. Now, they have won quite a few awards, but they're not very vocal or upfront in a lot of their awards. So I know they've won a lot of local awards and all the rest, but I don't think I've actually found anything that sort of says nationally they've won this or they've won that, apart from, you know, I mentioned about the regional camera events and stuff like that. They are good beers, but I do think they were geared up for cask. If you're going to have these in the bottle here, it's probably better in cask. These are good, as I said, but not the best example. Pardon me, not the best examples, but beers I wouldn't probably buy again. But if I seen in a pub, I probably would have if they were on keg or cask in that stage, because they're solid beers, but they're not groundbreaking. The wild side, though, definitely, I would try and grab those. They are really, really good at that stage. This is the only one that's the one that I'm not sure about, because I've obviously not had it, and it's a barrel-aged Imperial Stout coming in at 10%. That does sound really nice to me, where it's being matured in bourbon and sour mash whiskey barrels. That sounds really good. It's nicely pressurized as well. I'm looking forward to that, and I may update in the comment about what I think about it. Obviously not having it right now, but because it's can, I'm not going to age it. If this was in a bottle at 10%, I probably would leave it a year or two to mellow out some of the flavours. But I will update what I think of this. Enough of me droning on. This has been the UK Brewery Project. This has been Brightside Brewery, based up north of Manchester in Radcliffe, not the Radcliffe in Nottingham area. And that is banoffee pie. That is amazing. See you in the next one, guys. Take care.